Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Was Immortal? And yeah, guys, this is an original idea of mine as well. And before continuing this movie, if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And it's an unscripted movie, heads up. And without further ado, let's begin our story. Begins as Madara was about to launch the final attack. It was a giant Bijudama-like ball with dark energy. As his both hands were up in the air. It was so huge that it could resemble a miniature Earth. As Madara was about to launch that attack, both Sasuke and Naruto jumped in front of it in order to stop it. But Naruto, being the Jinchuriki, Kurama acted first and started to absorb it into Naruto's body in hope that Naruto would be able to take on the full attack, absorbing it, making it into his own chakra. But what Kurama didn't knew was it will go out of hand. As Naruto started to absorb this energy, his body was overpowered. And soon Madara, unbeknownst to him, suddenly launched another similar attack and destroyed the whole universe alongside him, leaving Naruto there all alone, as his eyes closed shut, thinking and reminiscing that he lost everyone who he considered a friend, his precious people. All of them were dead. Once he regained his consciousness, he was somewhere else. As he then said, Is this heaven? No, young one. This is the realm for the ascended. You have ascended here as an immortal, as a demigod. You have powers that I can sense far beyond us, and you will be trading here with us in order to regain full control over your powers. But what about my friends, family? Are they okay? Was I able to save them? Unfortunately, no. The planet you came from, as we can see from your memories, was destroyed, alongside the one who caused that explosion. So I am very sorry, but your original timeline has been destroyed. Original timeline, yes. Once you regain your full powers, you can create a multiverse of yourself and become its guardian. You can watch over it until you find a similar one, like all of us, and go there and live the life, and then come back here and become a guardian once again. I see. What is your name? My name is Ares, son of Kratos. Huh? Are you? Yes, I am. I am as well. I see. Let's go and meet up with my father. He's on the other side. He's in charge of us demigods here. Okay, thanks, Ares. I didn't get your name, so... sorry, where are my manners? Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, huh? Like those Japanese mythical gods. Nice. Let's go meet my father, as both of them ventured towards the giant castle where Kratos resided. As they entered the castle, it was huge and benevolent, and they went to the throne room where Kratos was sitting. As Naruto was in presence of him, he could sense that his presence demanded respect. As Naruto, alongside Ares, bowed, Father, I have brought the new ascended here. Good, now Ares, leave. I have a lot of stuff to talk about with this new arrival. Rise, new arrival. Naruto, sir. Naruto. My name is Kratos. I was known in my youth as the ghost of Sparta, the one who killed gods like Zeus and other ones alongside him. I even killed my master because he was going on a rampage, as per orders of them. As Kratos began to tell his tale throughout all of the God of War's saga, and once the end, Naruto could see that Kratos' life was one that was considered as hell. I see. But why are you telling me this? Because I had a vision, kid. Once you regain your powers, you will be handed my blades, the blades of chaos. You are chosen by them as its new wielder. Huh? You mean to say the weapon that you used to kill gods has chosen me as its new wielder? Yes. The ceremony will be a little bit painful for you because of the blades, but they are a powerful weapon if fallen in the wrong hands. they can cause so much destruction. I was once on a path that could destroy this whole universe and multiverse, but I stopped myself. Once I settled down and had family and Ares, I came to know that my hatred and anger wouldn't do anything but just to cause destruction and harm to me. And then I made the decision and put down the blades for good. I used this axe, as you can see, he said as he extracted his axe from his back as my replacement. It's a good weapon, and enough of that. You will be training with me from tomorrow on. Now rest. And if you want to mingle with others, you can so. You are free to go. Kratos said in a dismissive wave as Naruto bowed and left. He then was shown his quarters where he would be staying, and henceforth his training commenced. His training was hellish. He had to train day and night until he couldn't walk. He even learned about his powers. He could give de-aging to anyone. Alongside similar bit of his powers, he could stop time, control it, and he could control weather alongside with nature. He could also float and use similar to that of powers of the Sage of Six Paths, like truth-seeking orbs. He still had them, but now his 4 orbs were divided into 8, meaning he was becoming more powerful, more stronger. The beads were absorbed inside his body, unfortunately. Naruto cried that day because Naruto survived and became immortal at the cost of his friends, the Bijus. Naruto promised to himself, he vowed that in every universe he will protect them. Once he finished his training, and so passed the 500 years, Naruto was now as strong as Kratos was in his youth, which Kratos admired greatly, as he was able to lead his twin lions alongside with his Blade of Altus, as well as Blade of Atlantis, and Blade of Zeus as well, sometimes. But Blade of Zeus consumed a lot of chakra from Naruto, so he preferred not using it much. But he mastered his own weapon, the Blade of Chaos. As Kratos said, the ceremony for the blades to be joined to his body was painful as hell, as chains were extracted from his hands up to his upper arms. But it didn't show visibly, because the chains were the ones that extended the blades. As Naruto now became more powerful in the realm of the Ascended, that he could pass the demigod test and became a full-on god, but Naruto decided not to. As Kratos persisted that he should, and became an equal as him, but Naruto said no, he had a duty to fulfill, a promise, a vow that he said to himself. Kratos already knew and smiled at the boy. Move, boy. You have to go forth and forge your own path now. Become the guardian of your own realm, create it, and you shall become the god of that realm. And after doing so, you can do as you wish and protect it from others, because there are beings out there that can destroy it. Creatures far worse that we Ascended have gathered here to train you to protect what you create. Thank you, Kratos-sama. I will do. Dismissed, kid, and have a good life. It was good knowing you. Yes, I will try to come back and visit you, my lord, as often as you could. I will be waiting for that time, and you still owe me a rematch, though. Yes, my lord, yes. Dismissed, Kratos said as Naruto bowed and left. He then met with Ares and some of his female friends there. All of them were sad that Naruto had to go. Demigoddess of love, Layla, was also there. She was the one that Naruto was most close to, and once she heard of Naruto's story, she was sad that Naruto couldn't give back the love to one girl that proposed to him that time. Her name was Hinata Yuga, and she battled against pain and declared her love for him, and he still regretted. It was his biggest of regret to never answer her and return her feelings, but this was going to change. He was going to do so. For the next 500 years, he created a multiverse where he saw multi-version of himself, some destroying Konoha, some saving him, some becoming heroes, some became a tyrant, but all of them had one thing in common. They saved the Bijus from humans. Either way, killed Madara in the evil one, and Madara was destroyed and lost, and Kaguya was sealed again in some of the goods. He still couldn't find the closest one to his own universe that was destroyed. So he waited some more. It had been more 200 years. Naruto was 1200 years old by now. He was getting anxious, so he decided to create his own universe. And he saw that in that universe, Naruto was a mediocre of himself, and he didn't even have that much of chakra. So he did the next best thing. He switched places with him because Naruto was going to die either way, as Mizuki has already stuck him with a Fuma Shuriken in the gut. And the only difference in that universe was that alongside that was Kurama was female. So Naruto did what he was told. As in that universe, once Naruto disappeared, as Mizuki was laughing and Iruka shed tears, suddenly something happened. His body started to glow in a white light, and in front of them stood Naruto yet again. His clothes were changed. His orange jacket was now white cloak, long down to his ankles. His pants were black. His shirt was also black. His shinobi sandals were black. As he opened his eyes, he looked towards Mizuki. "You have caused enough pain to me," Naruto said, as he extended his hand forward and then yelled, "Universal pull. Guts." As Mizuki stood there, but his guts alongside his rib cage and his backbone were shoved straight throughout his body from his mouth. It was a gore sight, but Mizuki was no more. It was painful for him as hell, but he died in front of Iruka, whose eyes were wide, and then looked towards Naruto. Naruto, is that you?" "It is okay, Iruka-sensei." As then Anbus came into view, alongside with Hiruzen, at the sudden change of Naruto. "Naruto, my boy, why did you kill Mizuki? You could have beaten him. And what happened to you?" He said with narrowed eyes. "Gigi, it's been so long." "What do you mean, Naruto? We met yesterday night." "I will tell you in due time, but only to you. Come to your office. We will talk there. You will show respect to Hokage boy," said Ananbu. "I see. So, you are one of them," Naruto said, as he extended his hand forward. All of them were now in fear of what they saw Naruto did to Mizuki. "Die," Naruto said as he crushed his hand into a fist as the Anbu started to bend into a ball into his own body as he started to scream, but that ball suddenly disappeared out of sight, turning microscopic. As everyone was now even more afraid of Naruto and his powers, as Naruto then went on to tell that meet him in the Hokage office and disappeared in a bright light. Some of them thought that it was Harishin, but had to clear their eyes. Hiruzen then said, "Okay, you go take Iruka back to the hospital alongside the rest of you. I will go alone in the Hokage office. I have to talk to Naruto." "Hokage-sama, you can't. He's dangerous. You've seen what he could do with a single fist and telekinesis alone. He destroyed 2 of our shinobis, one a traitor that is strong enough to be a Chunin, an elite one, and one an Anbu, an elite one at that. He destroyed Parry like nothing, with his words and fist alone." "I know, but he is still Naruto. He still refers to me as Gigi. So there is something to it. Something that he wants to talk, and I will listen. And he was talking strangely like he hasn't met with me for a long time. Something about this Naruto, or version of it, is different. I will go and find this out. Be careful, Hokage-sama." Hiruzen nodded, and then left with Ascension. Back in Hokage Tower, when Hiruzen arrived, Naruto was already waiting for him there. "So, what do you want to talk about, Naruto?" Hiruzen said as he took his seat. "Please activate the privacy seals." As he did, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze." As Hiruzen's eyes widened, How? Please let me finish. I came from a different dimension, far long ago, that was destroyed by one known as Madara Uchiha." Hiruzen's eyes were now even more wide. "How? Please let me finish first. He was resurrected by none other than Kabuto Yuhi, who is now as a Chunin or a Genin in Konoha. He is a spy of Orochimaru, but he will betray him soon and resurrect him. The masked man who attacked Konoha all those years ago when I was born was none other than Obito Uchiha, who was trained and taken care of by none other than Madara, who was old and survived his encounter with the first Hokage in the Valley of the End. The first Hokage thought he was dead, but he survived with the help of one being, a Venus flytrap human being. Half of his side was white and half of it was black. His hair is green. His name is Zetsu. He is the will of Kaguya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess, the mother of all chakra, or she likes to call herself the mother of Seed of the Six Paths. She is sealed inside of the moon and will break free, if not stopped his plan. I have seen far enough of what she is capable of, and believe me when I say this, she is capable of destroying this planet if she is reborn with a just wink of her eye. As Hiruzen gulped, Naruto, what are you saying? Is it true? Yes. Do you want me to show you my memories? How old are you? When you said long ago. Good thinking, Gigi. You have catched on. You see, I am 1220 years old by now. I am an immortal, an ascended, a demigod, as you'd like to say. You see, once I died by that blast, or everyone else died while I survived, I was driven to the lands of Ascended Realm, where I was trained by my master Kratos and his son Ares. Alongside I met a lot of comrades, and then I created my own multiverse from my universe that was destroyed. In multiverse, I was somewhere known as villain who would destroy this world. Somewhere I was known as hero who would save this world. But only one thing was in common. I saved my precious people. Alongside you and the Meteors. Why do you mean the demons? They are not demons, TT. Naruto said as his killer that roamed throughout whole village. Hiruzen was now shivering at such amount of power. They are not demons. They are sentient beings, captured and sealed inside of us Jinchurikis without their consent. Madara controlled Nine Tails to destroy Konoha twice. Think about it. If, as you say, Kyuubi being a demon, why did it only destroy and attacked Konoha for 2 times in so many years? Think about it. Once was when Madara brought it here. The second time was when my mother was giving birth. Both times was because of an Uchiha's interference. And only one person's Sharingan is strong enough now to control it. And that person is none other than Madara Uchiha. Think about it, Gigi. As Hiruzen's eyes widened, you are right, Naruto. So, as they conversed and Naruto told him about his escapades, of how he became who he was and how he lived his life, they knew that it was already morning. As Hiruzen then said, well, Naruto, now that you know about your heritage and I know almost all about you, what do you say? Do you want to live in your parents' house? Yes, that will be preferable, GD. And would you like to be a Jonin? Why, GD? Because you are now elder in my age, Naruto. Hiruzen said, chuckling, and as weird as might be, but that is true. And on the other hand, you already are so powerful, or maybe the powerful being in the world, as you can say, you're a demigod, and will be enough to destroy Madara. As true that it might be, Gigi, but I'm not going to do that alone. What? Hiruzen said. Why? He asked Naruto. Naruto just smiled at him. Because I need the help of my precious people. That is why I'm here, to train together with them and make them strong. Starting with you, Gigi. Hiruzen's eyes widened as Naruto summoned an old sand hourglass from nothingness and said, Hiruzen Sarutobi, de-aging, begin, as he turned the hourglass other way around. As Hiruzen saw his old body turning into his youthful one, his wrinkled body was getting new aged and his skin was stretched as a youthful person. And the process stopped at nothing until he reached the age of 20. Hiruzen's eyes widened. Naruto, this is amazing. I'm youthful again with my chakra reserves. I know, better, GG, as you were in your youth. This is one of my powers that I can grant to those who are precious to me. And you can say that you are almost similar to that of immortal. I have expanded your lifespan and youth up to 100 years. You can live up to 200 years now. For 100 years, you cannot die, and after 100 years, you will start aging. Thank you, Naruto. Don't worry, Gigi. Don't worry. After such a miracle took place, whatever Hiruzen had thoughts regarding Naruto or his suspicions, they were all cleared out from his head. Now, Gigi, I want you to call a clan meeting and inform them about my heritage, alongside the civilian ones. Are you sure, Naruto? I mean, they never really liked you, you know. I know, Gigi. They were the one who caused me so much pain, but they have the right to know, or as they like to call it, they have every right to know what is going on. Right, my boy. Right. And one thing, Gigi, one thing more. Yes, Naruto? Please, have some backbone. You're the Hokage, for God's sake. Don't bend to their will. Yeah, I guess due to my old age, I was too much lenient, but not anymore. He then summoned his Anbu, who were shocked at seeing him in his youth. Hokage-sama? Yes, it is me. And you can go summon the council meeting as well. Hi, at once. Some of the censors in the Anbu confirmed that it was indeed Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage, but in his youthful state. As some of them even recognized it due to the resemblance in his youth. But they were confused how such a miracle could happen. As after half an hour, the elders alongside the civilian and shinobi council arrived in the council chambers to a shock waiting them. There sit on the Hokage chair was a youthful 20 years old Hiruzen Sarutobi, as almost every one of them, including the elders most of all, who were shocked, as Danzo asked, Hiruzen, what kind of trickery is this? Why are you using a genjutsu? You can try all you want to dispel it, but it is the truth. I have been granted my youth back. As everyone was now even more in shock and aghast, as Koharu asked, how? Because of one of my friends, let's just say that. I will introduce him to you all today as well, and might tell whom this friend is, Danzo asked. In his thought, he was thinking along the lines, if he can grant Hiruzen such powers and youth, he can grant me. I have to see who is this person. As civilian council members were also thinking of getting this person into their good graces. As then he nodded, Naruto, you can come in. As Naruto came in, as everyone was shocked even more. This boy? Asked civilian council member. How can this boy be the one to grant you such powers? Hush, human, Naruto said, as everyone was now even more shocked at what Naruto said. What do you mean, demon? Have you finally gained your powers? I haven't been called that in a long time. Everyone was now confused. Why would Naruto say that? Better yet, why don't I show you my true form? Naruto said as he glowed into a white light, and when it disappeared, there stood Naruto in black shinobi sandals and pants, with white shirt with black stripes in it, and a white cloak that has tomo around it. On his back were 8 orbs made out of black, and he held a staff in his hand. 2 blades were resting on each side of his thigh, alongside his hip. They were chained to his arms together. As Naruto looked towards all of them, everyone could see in Naruto's eyes that he had more wisdom. His presence demanded respect only. As everyone gulped, even Danzo was in fear. Who are you? You are not Naruto. I am Naruto when I say I am. Or you can say I'm the demigod version of it. I am the one who created all of this multiverse after all. From the original. I am the original Naruto. As everyone gasped, and so Naruto began to explain how he came to be who he was and how multiverse worked and who he was. As everyone was now in shock and in awe after everything was done explaining. So you mean to say is that, yes, I am a god in your realm and dimensions, and the one who is your protector. But how? You are a demon? No, I am much more than that. I have powers beyond anyone can imagine, and I am here for only one purpose: to stop Madara for what he did to my dimension, as everyone's eyes widened, mainly the elders. How can he be alive? He was killed by the first Hokage. Think about it. Madara attacked Konoha with Kyuubi under his control, fighting Madara, fighting Hashirama, and died. Yes, that is true. When was the second time Kyuubi attacked? At your birth, said Danzo. But my informant said that Kyuubi had Sharingan flashed in his eyes. Then everyone came to a realization. You can't be serious, is he? Yes, he is. He is alive. As Obito Uchiha now. His will is passed down to him. And him alongside with Kabuto, who is an agent of Orochimaru, as everyone was now in more shock, is here as a spy in Konoha alongside with Mizuki the traitor, whom I killed. Everyone was now shivering as they heard how Mizuki died. As the Naruto continued, regardless of that, back to the topic. He will be the one to resurrect Madara, due to the second Hokage's Edo Tensei. And once that happens, that is how in my realm GT died, fighting the first and second Hokage in Chunin exams when Orochimaru attacked, impersonating as the Kazekage. And his Jinchuriki, Ichibi no Shikaku, rampaged. I was the one who beat him. And you all praised the Uchiha, who then became rogue and came back to kill the elders alongside with Danzo in cold blood. And Danzo, I know of your secret. If you're plotting anything, it's worthless. I can kill you, as all of my counterparts have killed, in many dimensions. Some of them were killed by none other than Sasuke Uchiha, like my timeline, but others, I killed you. And I can kill you at the same time, because I know each and every one of your tricks. I have been watching you like a hawk, Danzo, so you better watch it. Danzo was not sweating, because he was facing a deity here, a demigod in his own right. He couldn't go against his will. He then sighed and said, "Fine, I will not try to provoke anything." Yes, and you know what to do. Leave those eyes alone. If you try to implant them, there will be hell to pay. And don't stray Uchiha, you too civilians. If you too much pamper him, he will become an arrogant bastard, just like the other timelines and mine. In some of them I killed him in cold blood. In some of them I became friends with him, but I don't believe that he is evil now. But your pamperment will turn him into one. As he became a Genin, handing him over everything he demanded. No, he's a ninja for God's sake, and he has to work for it if he wants it, even if it's the power. And you have to call back Itachi, Didi. He's innocent. But he killed his own clan, said Civilian. I know what you and the elders decided. The fate of the Uchiha behind the Uchiha massacre, the truth, I know all about it. And believe me when I say this, I'm not pleased with it, but there was no other way. It was inevitable. I would have done the same. But I will bring back one person to life, and only one person. Make it two then. Naruto thought about and talking to himself. 2 persons from the Uchiha clan back to life. Who are those? Those are none other than Izumi Uchiha, the one girl that Itachi loved, and Mikoto Uchiha, mother of Itachi and Sasuke. Those two were pure. They didn't knew any of that, and they didn't have to die that way. I'm going to bring them back now, Naruto said as he clasped his hand and summoned the Shinigami, who bowed in front of him. Mortal-sama, why did you summon me? Shinigami, I want 2 souls from you at the time. Who are those? Itachi Uchiha's girlfriend, Itachi Uchiha's mother, Mikoto Uchiha, and the wife of Fugaku Uchiha, the clan elder of the Uchiha clan, and clansman of Uchiha clan, Izumi Uchiha, a girl who died an unfaithful death. Those 2 are indeed innocent, and they were killed off. I will bring them back, as you wish. And from Shinigami's stomach came 2 souls, and Naruto summoned Edo Tensei, and their bodies were summoned there. He could summon them without any DNA or any of their bodies being found, any one of them. And as the coffin opened, their souls entered to their bodies, and Naruto regenerated their bodies as a whole new, as they breathed air in front of everyone in the council. Much to everyone's shock, even those who were watching in the ceiling, mainly the Anpus, they were all shocked at what they were seeing. As Mikoto asked, Where am I? Mikoto-sama, Izumi? Is that you? Yes, it is me. But weren't we killed off? Yes, you were all killed off by Itachi. As Mikoto turned an angry eye towards Hiruzen, how could you? I trusted you and told you everything, and yet you do this. You killed off my family and made my son do it. Poor soul must have been through enough. What happened to Sasuke? Don't worry, Mikoto. I am sorry for what happened. And Naruto here was the one who brought you back. Naruto? As she remembered her friend's son, as she looked towards Naruto. Is that Naruto? Hello, Mikoto Bachan. How have you been? You know about me? Yes. You being my mother's friend. Yes, I know. But why did you bring me back? If you knew Mikoto Sama, then that is fine. But why me? Izumi asked. Because of Itachi. He's been suffering far enough. And he has caught a disease that is slowly killing him, I believe. As Mikoto's and Izumi's eyes widened. I know what he did. Now, it was to protect his brother. He always loved him more than me, she said with a pout, but I guess it is okay. He showed me that we lived together, happily had a family before I died. He showed me a nice dream before he killed me off. And when I was laying there, bleeding, I saw him crying, weeping there, and saying he was sorry it had to be this way. And once this was over, he will join me in the afterlife. I guess I'm here to beat his ass and put him in the right way. She said, as Naruto chuckled. Yes, that is true. As Hiruzen nodded and called out for a monkey then, and wrote a letter down and told him to send this towards Jiraiya and to forward towards Itachi then, as the monkey bowed and left with the scroll in a puff of smoke. Now, you can go and meet Sasuke in the Uchiha compound. In here. Hiruzen wrote down the instructions to the place where it was and went there alongside with Izumi. As they left, Naruto then turned around, as everyone was shocked at his abilities. Then Hiyashi asked, Can you bring back my wife? I know I can, but I will on a later date. I have to bring back 2 more people, and on a day's date I can bring only 4 back. Who are they? My parents, obviously. Did you have any parents? Oh yes, that was the reason I called you all here. I have my parents, and I will tell you who they are. Once you know them, you will see. Naruto then summoned the Shinigami back. You already required my services, my lord. Yes, Shinigami. I want the souls for my parents. You know who they are. I see you want them to be surprised. Yes, I want them to be surprised and see what they have done to the one they called as hero. Some of them caught on, but most of them didn't, because it was a secret even amongst the Shinobi Council. Only Mikoto knew somehow, because she was there, and she only told her friend that his child was a baby boy who was going to be born, and his name was going to be Naruto, as they decided. And much to everyone's shock, 2 coffins more rised from the ground. As before the lid opened, their souls came as white lights, blinding everyone due to Naruto being there, and entered their coffins. Naruto then performed a hand seal as the aging process began and their bodies came to life. As the lids lied down on the ground, 2 people walked out and everyone gasped as their eyes were bulging out. One had red hair and violet eyes, the other one had blonde hair with blue eyes. He then turned towards the one with red hair. Kushi-chan, is that you? Mina, Kun, where are we? I don't know. As both of them turned towards a man standing in front of them with long blonde hair, blue eyes. Naruto? Hi, Do-san, Ka-san. As both of them eyes were widened before they hugged Naruto in lap. As Naruto chuckled, it's good to meet you finally. Naruto, but how? I will explain you everything, as I've done to them. But other than that, we will talk about this later. We have much matters to discuss. I want to train each and every one of you. What? By everyone here, I mean your children who are my friends in this timeline. Even if I am an immortal, I still consider Hinata as my soulmate. As Yashi's eyes went, how? Well, she was the one in my original timeline who declared her love to me once the pain attacked. happened. He destroyed the whole village, and when I was in a pinch and was about to be killed, she arrived. At the cost of her life, in declaring her love, she gave me enough power to defeat pain, and I convinced pain to resurrect everyone, and so everyone was born who was killed in his attack. As everyone's eyes were widened after hearing this, as Kushida and Minato were confused, Naruto, we don't understand anything. In due time, Gosan, Dosan. Once we get home, I will explain everything to you. I see. You have a lot of discussed in between yourselves. Yes, GD. We'll be taking our leave. As before, everyone turns, even Minato and Kushina, towards Hiruzen. Their eyes widen. Except for everyone. Hiruzen? Is that you? Yes, it is me, Minato. How do you like my new look? It's thanks to your son here. Their eyes were now bulging out as they turned towards Naruto. Naruto? How? And why have you grown so much now that I see? Naruto turned back to his original form, the youngest form, as 13-year-old boy. See, I'm back to normal now. Let's go back to our home where we can talk. As both Minato and Kushina reluctantly nodded and got back to their home. Time skip inside Namikaze estate as both of them were sitting in a couch as their son sat in front of them. Naruto began to explain how he lived his life in his original timeline, how he died, or so he thought he died, as everything else destroyed and he ascended to the realm upper where the ascended were, where he became an immortal and trained under a god himself, and became the strongest demigod there was, and came the guardian and god of these realms, that he liked to call as realms of Naruto's, where he told there was multiple personalities and counterparts of his, where some of them in which he was neglected and became evil. He became the savior in some, he became the destroyer in some, but this was the closest to his original, where he started to resurrect. But he missed a few points, it seems, like most of them that he considered his comrades were girls, mainly Kiba, who was a girl, alongside with Sasuke, who he thought was a boy, but turns out it was a girl as Mikoto corrected him in the council chambers. And not only that, turns out Neji was also a girl. As Naruto began to explain how he was here and why he was here and why he resurrected them, they were crying. They were in tears their son had to endure so much. As after they calmed down, Minato then said jokingly, "So, you're kind of an elder to me. It is kind of weird to see that my son is kind of an elder, an immortal, a demigod, even older than I am. As it weird it may sound, but you are still my father. Father of this Naruto that I am resurrected in, and father of mine, alongside everyone else in the timeline, or Narutoverse, as I like to call it. I like the name. But still, I don't get it why you resurrected us. It is because of Madara." "Madara? Is he still alive?" Minato asked. "Minato-kun, what is it? Remember the masked man, honey? He claimed to be Madara. It was Obito Uchiha, your student." As both of their eyes widened. "But how? He died!" "Yes, or so we thought, but he was resurrected by Madara Uchiha, who was dying of old age. And Madara trained Obito alongside with Black Zetsu, who is the main culprit behind Madara being corrupt. And after he was able enough to walk, Madara let him go. But he put him in a genjutsu where he saw Rin died at the hands of Kakashi. At the exact time, Obito lost all hope, all his light. He turned evil to the core, but he still managed to salvageable if you like to call. And I am going to save him and reunite him with Rin and end Kakashi's suffering that he is putting himself through over the years." "I see. So Naruto, if you are so strong, why didn't you become a Jonin to train my friends, father? I want them to be strong enough to protect themselves alongside when the time comes. As you see, I may not be able to stay here for long. I have to return to my duties as the guardian of the realms I created from the other beings outside. But I can live a life here, and I can turn you all into immortals if you want. Mainly my precious people. I did Hiruzen Sarutobi as well. He can age after 100 years, and he can live up to 100 years more as their parents had their eyes wet. You can do that? Yeah, I already made you mortals before you resurrected. That is why you were coming out of your coffin layers. You will never age, and you will remain as you are. And even if you want to have more of my siblings, you can, as both of them blessed. Oi, we still are your parents, Tebane, Kushina said and bonked his head. As it hurts. You still are my mother, and remember that. The first time we met, you still did that. Bonked my head when I claimed that you were the QB in human form. What did you say? Sorry, mother, Naruto said as he disappeared. Come back here, Naruto Uzumaki. I don't care if you are a god or something. You are still my kid. I'm going to beat the shit out of you for even a second, considering your mother was the QB. Kushina said as Naruto was hiding in his room. Oh, damn, even if you are a god, you're still afraid of your mother, Naruto said, still shivering, as he laid down on his bed, and so did his parents to rest. Naruto opened his eyes in the mindscape, where he remembered they were still sewers. As he made way towards the cage, he saw a QB in the corner, shivering, as her eyes were looking at Naruto wide open. Why are you here, mortal? QB-san? Yes? I was friends with my QBs in my realm, so I was thinking that would you like to be my friend, considering that I already know of your origins, and we came to know in that timeline that we were compatible, and I was the reincarnation of your brother Asura. Asura was my sister in this realm. Man, this realm is fucked up. How much did I overlooked? Naruto thought to himself. Anyways, I was thinking, would you like to be my partner in this realm as well? I can break the cage and seal, so you can have a connection with me again. Naruto said as he crunched the bars with his hands, and as the bar broke and disappeared, as Kyuubi came into view and turned into a human form. It was a beautiful vixen with 9 tails, and a sexy one at that. Naruto gulped. Damn! I didn't knew that in this realm the Bijus could turn into human form. Could you wear some more clothes? Why? You like what you see? Kurama asked, getting a little bit cocky. Yes, you're beautiful, but please cover up. I'm getting off track here. As you say. As Naruto's instincts were telling him as a demigod to make her his mate. And that's what he did, acting on his instinct. He got near Kurama and grabbed her by the chin and kissed her. As Kurama, after getting kissed, were familiarized with his chakra and considered him a mate as well. And both of them got into heat and did what they had to do. You know, birds and bees and stones and shit. Anyways, next morning Naruto woke up in his mindscape as there was a bed materialized there, and on that laid naked Naruto and Kurama. As Naruto then said, well, that was good. Now you can be free if you want to. Yeah, I would like that, Naruto-kun. Anyway, honey, I gotta go. There's a lot stuff to do. I know. Take care, she said as Naruto woke up and made a clone similar to that of Kurama, and Kurama's soul and chakra was transported into it as 9 tails erupted from her back alongside her fox ears and slitted red eyes. As she looked towards Naruto and said, with a kiss, thank you. As then suddenly Kushina bursted in. Naruto, wake up! Who is she? As she saw the tails and eyes. Is that the QB? Hey, how come you're a girl? And what are you doing to my son? She said, getting angry as her hair started to flow. Mom, calm down. She's my mate. What? You're too young to be having these kinds of relationships, Naruto. You're 13 for God's sake. Mom, did you forget I'm an immortal? I've lived for 1200 years. And his answer was met with a pan to the face as Naruto laid on the bed with stars running in circles over his head. As Minato came into view. What's going on, Kushina? As he saw a beautiful woman as he blushed. Oh. As Kushina turns towards her husband, who was now shivering. Kushina, I can explain. And his answer was again a pan to the face. He now lay unconscious to the bed as well. You, come with me. My room. Put some clothes on. As Kurama just nodded her head as fast as she could. And both of them went inside their room and Kushina gave her some clothes, proper ones to wear. As both Naruto and Minato came to their consciousness, they came downstairs where Kurama and Kushina were waiting. and surprisingly laughing and talking to each other. As both of them came into view and said, "Oh, you're finally here. Come down and sit, honey. Let me introduce to our daughter-in-law here. Her name is Kurama. She's Kyobi no Yoko." As Minato again fell unconscious after hearing this. Once he woke up, he said, "Where am I? Honey, I had a weird dream where Kyobi no Yoko was a girl and you said she was our daughter-in-law." "Well, Minato, that is true. Or should I say Tosan now?" As Naruto's eyes were, "Wait, what? It's not a dream?" "No, Dad, it isn't. She's my first mate." "What do you mean by first mate, Naruto? Are you considering to break her heart and get more women? Are you considering to become a pervert like Jiraiya?" she said. As Naruto was sweating again now, as Minato was already ready to hire Shin away from that place. As he said, If we're going to have it, we're going to have it together, Pops. Not like this." Minato then narrowed his eyes at Son and said, "Curse you, Naruto. I'm going to double your training for that, and I'm going to get you back for that as well. One way or another." As Naruto then gave him an bleh sound, getting his tongue out. As Kushina then made his way towards Naruto and grabbed him by the collar. As a fist was about to collide with his face, Kurama then spoke. "I would be kind enough, mother-in-law, if you don't hurt my husband here. He and I talked already, and as you can see, I cannot handle his Kushina blushed and said libido, as both mother and father blushed at this as well. "What do you mean?" And Kurama explained that he's an immortal and his libido is way, way, way higher than an immortal, so he had to get many of the mates in his life if he wants to continue on and get a huge family. Think about it, Kushina. You will have a huge family as you wanted. Kushina's eyes were now starred, covered with stars, as she considered many of the younger Uzumakis running here and there in the room, as Naruto and Minato cried anime tears as taking care of the babies while she played with their granddaughters and grandsons. As they said, they loved Kushina. And then she got out of her dream, much to Minato and Naruto's dismay. Honey? Well, Naruto, you will get as many lovers as you like, but they have to pass my test and my approval as well," she said with a nod, as Minato was proud of and his son as well as jealous. "Damn, Naruto, you're lucky." Kushina then said, "What do you mean he's lucky?" "Nothing, I'm just lucky that I have a son like that, who is so strong. I just was considering that he was so powerful, that's all." "I know that where you are going with this, but oh well, I'm not going to put any more burden on your poor soul, or you will have the wrath of my mother that I don't even want to incur myself." And so, time skip to the academy, as by now everyone in the village knew Naruto was the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, the red hot-blooded habanero and yellow flash, and both of them were alive somehow and were looking after Naruto as a family whole again. Kakashi came to meet his sensei as well as Jiraiya sometime soon, and Itachi, by the way, came into the village back again. He, alongside with his family, met flashback back in Uchiha compound. Once Mikoto and Izumi arrived and met with Sasuke, who was lying there crying, still reminiscing about the death of her parents. She opened the door as her bell rang and became surprised and pale when she saw someone who was supposed to be dead. "Kazan? Sasuke-chan, you're alive," she said as she ran and hugged her daughter, and in a bone crushing her, as both of them wept, as Izumi came into view as well. "Hi there, Sasuke. My god, you look so grown up since the last time I saw you. Izumi-ne-chan?" "Hi, Sasuke-chan. How have you been?" she said as Sasuke hugged her as well, and the three of them cried and got to know each other better. As reacquainted again, you can say, as Sasuke then asked, "Mother, how are you alive? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy, but how is this happening? Last time I saw Itachi," she said with venom, "killed you all in front of me." "Well, my daughter, he had no other choice. He did this to protect you." "Why? Why did he kill you all?" "It was because of the elders that burdened your brother with such task. He wanted to protect you. It was either your life or the life of a clan, which he knew either way will be killed off by either of the Anbus in the night time. So he chose you over us, which I'm proud of it, because I was the one who requested your safety and he told me his plans. He even was crying the day he was about to kill us. But your father encouraged him and said the path he was about to follow was one full of pain and hurt. Is he ready? He said yes, and that is why we let him kill us. In order to protect you, daughter. He loves you so much, that is why he did this. Yeah, your mother is telling true here, Sasuke. Even when he killed me, he showed me that he loved me, but he still chose you over me. As Sasuke then started to cry and wail again, at how foolish she had been to think that her brother was a freak and maniac who has gone mad after awakening his Sharingan, turned her into the path of emo-ness. She was an emo queen by now, but she was breaking out of her shell again, returning to the Sasuke she was once before the massacre, a happy, cheerful one. And hence it been a week for Sasuke, as she was living with her family, until an envoy arrived and told them that the Hokage summoned them, all three of them. As they arrived, there they saw a person who Sasuke thought that she might never see. Her brother, Itachi Uchiha, was standing there in Akatsuki robes. As he looked towards his mother, his eyes widened, alongside his girlfriend. Mother, Izumi-chan. How? As the three of the girls ran towards him and hugged him, as Itachi's tears well up in his eyes as they fell. He hugged them close and smiled. He was thankful for whomever it was that did this deed and brought back his mother and his loved one that he loved second most after his sister. And then he hugged his sister and poked her head on the forehead, much to Sasuke's dismay as she pouted. As Itachi chuckled, "I'm sorry, sister, but I had to do what I had to do. And from the looks of it, mother already told you. And by the way, Hokage-sama, why are you so young and in a henji?" As Itachi activated his Sharingan and his eyes widened. "You're not in a henji? How is this possible?" "Well, I got two words for you. Uzumaki Naruto." Itachi's confusion came into play. "What do you mean? Isn't he a Genin? A Red Lost as well?" "Yes, Nichan is right. He is a Dead Lost. But how?" "Well, turns out Naruto is an immortal demigod, who is the original Naruto, and he came to this realm in order to protect you all, to save you from following the path of evil, mainly you, Sasuke. He did this to protect you from the path of evil, bring back your mother, bringing back Itachi and reuniting to your family." Sasuke's eyes widened as she blushed. She liked the blonde, don't get her wrong, but she put an act of emo-ness in front of him only because she didn't want to follow her steps of brother, because he told her at the day when she was put into the Tsukiyomi that she had to kill her lover in order to gain this Mangekyo, or a friend, and she considered both first friend in Naruto and her crush. So that is why she became emo and looked down upon him, so that Naruto might try to get away from her. But now she was blushing again as Mikoto's and Itachi's eyes caught that and said, "Looks like our little sister has a crush on my daughter, But if he ever breaks her heart, he has a lot of hell to pay, God or not." As Sasuke was then sent off to the Uchiha compound backed by her mother and Hiruzen explained who Naruto was and how he returned everything the way it was. As fucked up it might be, Itachi was now sure that Naruto was a demigod and powerful one at that. And Itachi even confirmed that the real leader behind the Akatsuki was none other than Madara itself, or someone impersonating as Madara. And the Hokage confirmed that it was indeed Obito Uchiha, their cousin, uncle. As their confirmation was done, the Uchiha family left. As they were leaving, many were surprised to see Mikoto Uchiha alive, alongside with Itachi, the traitor who killed his clans. But they were passing by the Ichiraku Ramen once they heard a familiar giggle as Mikoto stopped in her tracks. "Kushi-chan?" she said after going through the flaps as her eyes laid on Kushina. As Kushina's eyes widened and turned towards Mikoto. Mikoto-chan, it's been a long time. How have you been? As Mikoto ran towards Kushina and hugged her and cried, Yukata, you're back. You're alive. I was so sad that you died that day. I couldn't bring myself to go near your son. He reminded me so much of you. But I did all I could to protect him in the shadows. I know, Mikoto-ba-chan. I know. I've seen through many of the timelines that are similar to that of mine. You were the one who brought so much food to me when I was laying on the streets. You wanted to bring me back home, but because of Fugaku Uchiha you couldn't, and some of your clan elders. But now that didn't matter. You are here as well as my mother. You can reunite with your friends again, if you want to. That would be good. As Itachi came to view and bowed to Minato, who was also there. Hokage-sama. I'm not Hokage anymore, it's Hiruzen, remember? But you are the Hokage, the fourth one, remember? Yes, I know, Itachi, but currently I'm just a father to my son, like he wanted me to be. As Naruto smiled at this. I see. Well then, I don't want to interfere with your family meeting. I will be leaving with my family, Hokage-sama. Itachi bowed and left, as Mikoto did the same. See you later, Kushi-chan. Yeah, you bet, Mikoto-chan. As the family of Uchihas departed and went their separate ways to that of the Uzumakis. Time skipped to the team placement day. As Uruka walked in and said, Today I am very proud of you all that you became the shinobis, whom will bring pride and joy to our nation and protect it with your lives. As Uruka's speech went on and it completed, everyone was surprised to see Naruto's new look and revelations that Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage and the red-blooded hot habanero, who was the apprentice of none other than Tsunade Senju, and everyone knew that she considered Kushina her daughter, and Kushina again had a diamond mark on her forehead. Naruto then came into the class earlier that day and sat near Sasuke, who was giving her the looks of blush. Naruto was surprised. Oh god, don't tell me she has a crush on me. And that became evident once he read her mind. He looked so hard all of a sudden. I liked him before, but it was all an act. Maybe he hates me. That is why he's giving me the look of confusion. Oh Naruto-kun, how can I tell you that I loved you all along? All those years ago, but I couldn't do anything because I didn't want it to be involved, to be the one too close to me that I have to kill in order to gain power. That is why I did what I had to. I'm so sorry, but I love you. How can I repay your kindness? Naruto-kun, please just give me a chance. Damn this Uchiha pride, I can't even say these words outright. And Naruto then smiled. As his arm came over Sasuke's shoulder, Sasuke yelped a little bit, much to everyone's surprise, as Naruto then turned his eyes towards her and said, Sasuke-chan, would you like to go on a date with me? As Sasuke's eyes widened. Eh? What do you mean? Naruto? I mean dope? What are you talking about? Curse you, Uchiha pride, she thought to herself, as Naruto smirked even more. Eh? What do you mean? Don't you like me? Naruto said, in his honest voice and innocent eyes. Oh, curse these googly eyes. Yes, I do, she said a little bit, grumbling. I see, so it's a date then. Yup, it is. As Hinata, who was watching this from the sidelines, crushed pencil in her hands, as there was a dark aura surrounding her. As Kiba became afraid alongside Akamaru, as he scooted away from her alongside with Aburameshino, as his bugs for detecting danger far ahead of their levels, as she looked towards Sasuke, activating her Byakugan. Kurus, she said. Sasuke was afraid, and Naruto then turned towards her as her aura disappeared as she blushed. Naruto then smiled at her and winked, much to the Sasuke's jealousy, as Naruto then said, Hinata-chan, why don't you join us? Naruto then became confused and said, eh? Sure, Naruto-kun, if you want me to. As time skipped after the team placement, as they were all in canon, Sasuke, Naruto, and Hinata met at the Ichiraku Ramen Bar, where they ate and then went to a training field, Training Ground 7, where they were resting, as their sensei was going to meet them tomorrow on. As Naruto then said, "Listen, girls, I like both of you, and since I'm the last of my clans, both of them, I will have to marry more women. So, as I love both of you, I think it is only considered that I date both of you as well, because I am technically under a CRA." As both of them blushed at this and said, and looked towards each other and talked through eyes. "Well, what do you think, Uchiha?" I have to share him with you, Hyuga. I guess we can come to a compromise. And it will act as an alliance since both of us are going to be heads of our clan soon. Yes, it will be done, Uchiha. For the sake of our Naruto-kun, it will be done. As both of them nodded to each of themselves and then said, "Deal." Eh? What do you mean, deal? Don't you love me or something? Is this some kind of a business to you? Naruto said, teasing them. No, we love you. We truly do. It's just that we came to a compromise, that's all. Naruto then took them on dates separately and together as well, as the three of them got to know each other and became close. He even requested Gigi to put them on the same team, much to the dismay of Sakura. Yeah, the bitch was useless as she could get. Worse, she was a fangirl of Naruto now, but Naruto didn't like it one bit. As the next day, she tried to get under Naruto's pants, but Naruto turned an angry glare at her, much to everyone's surprise again, and said, "Get off here, fair Sakura. I know what you're trying to do." What do you mean, Naruto-kun? As everyone snorted at that. Once you knew that I was the clan heir of Namikaze and Uzumaki, you tried to get near me because you knew that Sasuke was a girl, and becoming her friend would get you some kinds of clan's rights or so, but that isn't possible. You see, Sasuke thought of you as a nuisance, and so do I now. My falling in love with you was all a cover so that I could protect Sasuke. You see, I didn't want people to hate on her because she was getting to know the demons, or so, as they like to call me, or used to. But now I know the true you, Sakura. But truly I am disappointed in you, because you are worthless, even in this realm, as you are in others. In some you are strong and kind and good, but the rest of them, useless. Even the good ones pale in how useless and selfish you are. As her eyes were teared up and about to burst, as Ino stepped up. "Hey, you didn't have to be so mad, Naruto, but it is true, She has been using you. Once she got near Sasuke, she dumped you, remember? Because of power. She came close to you all because she wanted to gain the clan powers. Your backing. She wanted political power. What do you think how her mother got into the civilian council? I don't want to say this, but Sakura's mother's past is that she was a hooker. What do you think? The rest is history in front of you. I don't want to say any more than that to embarrass Sakura than she already is. And truth to be told, Sakura failed her test as a genin, but no matter how her friends protested, she failed because Hiruzen has become strict, and the civilian council couldn't do shit about that because they knew Hiruzen has the backing of a deity, a demigod who can destroy them with a slip of his finger, and they couldn't do shit about it. Hell, he could destroy their universe if he wanted to, but he wouldn't because it was close to his home, and they tried to take advantage of that, but they were how wrong. They found out soon, as Naruto took 50 years of their lifespan away from them, as they begged for his mercy, as they saw their skin turning old, and even some of them were turning to bones. Naruto returned them 25 years of their lifespan, telling them that they all would die after 25 years. Naruto have taken 25 years of their lifespan from them. As much as they hated, they couldn't do anything about it if they wanted to die, because of old age at so much speed. And hence, after that, team placement were as in canon, but only difference was that Sakura was kicked out and in her place was Hinata. And Sai was in Hinata's place in Team Kurenai. As their sensei was again Kakashi and Kushina as a assistant sensei as well, as both of the sensei trained their genins, but Naruto didn't need any training. They knew already, but Naruto alongside with senseis trained both of them, as Sasuke at the end of the first week already had her Mangekyo Sharingan awakened, but due to Naruto's power, it turned into Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and Hinata activated her Tensekan. As she went home after activating it, Yashi was quite shocked, and so was the elders of the Hyuga clan. They were surprised, and one girl was pissed. She was Neji Hyuga, who was pissed at this, that Hinata became so strong, so powerful only in a week. He was far away, leagues ahead of even the strongest Hyuga to ever exist, the only becoming the second Hyuga, aside from their ancestor Hamura Otsutsuki, to ever gain the Tensegan. As she demonstrated her powers, getting a white cloak on and destroying a mountain with a beam, everyone praised her and told that she didn't even need Juken because of her power, but she trained hard enough to become a Juken master, far more stronger than her father. She was ready to become a clan head in his eyes, and he knew she was already under the CRA for Naruto because he was a demigod. Yashi has already told his elders that Naruto was a demigod and don't mess with him because he can kill them with a single snap of his finger. As much as they hated it, they already knew, and what Yashi has told them and what they have seen, they already had to trust Yashi, their clan elder and leader. And after seeing Hinata's progress, the suspicions became evident, and they knew that Naruto was indeed a demigod who can bestow power and take it away if he wants to. As Neji was making her way towards Naruto, who was training in a training field, shirtless, she blushed after seeing this. Damn it! It is by fate that I have to encounter this man here, and turns out he stole my heart with first glance. And then she smirked. I'm going to take that man away from Hinata-sama, and then he will be mine, all by myself. I don't care if he's under CRA or so. You shall be mine, Naruto Uzumaki, because I deem you worthy, and so did fate, for you to be my mate and my soulmate. As she made her way arrogantly towards Naruto. You? Huh? Yes, you. Huh? You're Neji, right? Hinata's cousin. Yes, I am. What can I do for you? Naruto asked with a smile. She blushed even more as she looked away. Well, for first, I would like you to train me and date me as well. I am giving you the honor to date me. Hey? What? As Naruto looked towards her memory and said, sighed, same old Neji, even if she is a female. But what's with the development? Oh, I see. I've been training shirtless again. Damn it. I guess their beauty is a curse and a blessing. Anyways, Naruto made his way towards her and said, Fine, I'll train you, but on one condition. You have to let go of this fate crap. What do you mean? It is by fate that we met. No, you came here to search for me, from what I can see. And you found me training, and you found me attractive. That's all. There is no fate, Neji. What do you mean? By fate I have been put through this seal. Oh, you mean this seal here? Naruto said as he made a snap of his finger as her seal disappeared, as her eyes widened. What? My seal. She took out her kunai and looked towards it as her eyes started to tear up as she jumped on Naruto and kissed him, smashing her lips with his as she started to cry in his arms. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I thought that I was fated to be their slave. No, you aren't. No, you aren't, Neji. You are now one of my mates. And you, I promise, I won't let anything happen to you. I will protect you as you are now one of my precious people as well. She blushed even more and hugged him. Hi, Naruto-kun. But there's a catch. What? You have to share me with Hinata, Sasuke, and Kurama. What? I have to share you with an Uchiha, and who is this Kurama? Kyuubi no Yoko. Eh? You mean Kyuubi wasn't killed? Yeah, there's a long history. And so Naruto explained her again the history. Damn, it was getting boring for him to explain history of his life and the Bijus to every single person who came into his view. And so Neji was also on the band of Naruto's harem. And when she met with Hinata and with Sasuke, both of them gave him glares, but they knew that Neji was their cousin sister for Hinata and sister in harem for Sasuke, so they let him be and told him that they welcome him with open arms. As Hinata then said, Neji-chan, can you give me a chance to improve our relationship? Hi, Hinata-sama. I'm sorry at the way I treated you before. I always thought that it was because of you my father died. I'm sorry for blaming you. I still somewhat blame myself for the death of your father, but I'm sorry it had to be this way. Please forgive me for that. Hinata said with a bow as her eyes started to tear up. But he was an uncle to me as well. He was my uncle as well. He loved me like you, his own daughter. And the day I lost him, I lost somewhat of my confidence that I gained. And thanks to Naruto again, I gained it back. Hi, I know he has some of his perks, Neji said with a smile as both of them blushed at remembering something else that was over 18 years of age. Well, I guess we could start training, and hence Neji joined in their training as well over the years. And so came along Tenten, who also fell in love and became close to Naruto alongside with female Kiba as well. Naruto had gained a lot of quiet harem for him as he thought about it now, and he even went on to the land of waves where he saved Tarzan alongside with female Haku, who also joined the band of his harem after he saved her and saw him training in the dark night shirtless. Haku fell in love with him due to his kind personality, his strong speed and agility alongside with his personality and body, you can say. And Zabuza agreed to him and let his daughter go with Naruto, and told him that if he ever put a tear to her eyes, he will come down to Konoha and hunt him down like a damn rat. And Naruto agreed, giving him a thumbs up. And he even went to Kiri and helped defeat the Mizukage and end his terror of Regine. And Mei fell in love with him there and then, and even married him, and as sending a alliance to the Konoha as a reward, and being a diplomat herself in an shinobi village alliance marriage between Mei and Naruto, as his other fiancés got jealous and they also decided to marry. Yes, Naruto had a grand wedding in which firstly he married Sasuke, then Hinata, then Neji, then Tenten, then Kiba, then he married to Mei, who was old enough, and after getting over his mother's temper, she finally agreed. And fast forward to the pain arc, she was pregnant already. Mei already had 2 daughters with Naruto, and Kushina loved them like a grandmother should, alongside with Minato, and spoiled them rotten, but not too much that it get to their head, as they were cool-headed and calculating like Itachi Uchiha. They were prodigies in their own right. They loved their father, their grandparents, their mother, and their other siblings from their other mothers as well, that were born from their other mothers, like Sasuke, Hinata, Neji, Kiba, and even Tenten. Naruto even stopped Pain attack as he showed him his memories, and Pain or Nagato bowed to him as respect that he was a demigod, and vowed his all honesty and his loyalty towards him. And Naruto even resurrected Yahiko because Nagato couldn't do it with his Rinnegan even, as Yahiko and Konan hit it off again, and by Konan slapping her lips on Yahiko's as he was rebirthed again, as Yahiko blushed as Nagato came rushing down from his hiding spot and hugged both of them as he cried tears of joy. They were now both having fun being married and on the way to make some babies and make Nagato grandfather or godfather for them, much to their dismay, because Nagato forced them to have babies because he wanted to be godfather to them as well. And he even infiltrated the Akatsuki base and killed off Hidan Kakazu because they were immortals, but not in his eyes, they were puny pests that needed to be dealt with. He even killed off Zetsu, killing him once and for all, leaving Obito and Tobi all by himself. As he encountered him, Tobi was sitting in his Akatsuki base all by himself. Sasori and Deidara were kidnapped and sent back to their villages as prisoners, their bounty taken from them. And once Naruto came into view, Obito asked, "I see, so you're here to take me out again, huh? The Black Flash?" Yes, Naruto's bingo book name was Black Flash, triple S rank shinobi from Konoha Gakure no Sato. That is why Kumo and Iwa didn't bother ever attacking him unless they wanted their countries to be destroyed. because they saw what Black Flash did to the Orochimaru and his country. Naruto went there and saved Orochimaru as he saw that Orochimaru turned a new leaf by showing him the good universe, his memories. And Orochimaru's new dream was, after finding a way to immortality, to create his son that he saw in that dream. That was a teammate alongside Naruto's son Boruto and his daughter Sarada, Uchiha. And Orochimaru wanted a family by himself now because he was lonely, that he has gained immortality. So now that only he wanted was family again. He could have asked for his parents, but he wanted a son. He wanted that to rest because it was in the past. And he even went back to Konoha, where his sensei still regened, and apologized for what he did, because it was because of Danzo that his parents died and that all the stuff happened, and he became rogue. Hiruzen, after having a heartfelt moment, forgave him, and so did Jiraiya after he arrived, and so did Konoha, slowly but surely, and Anko once never seen as a snake whore or bitch. She even forgave her sensei and joined Naruto in his band of the harem after that, after Naruto removed even her cursive that Orochimaru couldn't because he forgot the formula. Yes, even genius could forget something because they are humans. Even Orochimaru can. And so Orochimaru's new dream of creating a son from his own DNA artificially began. And Hokage even approved of it because it was his own DNA that he tested it upon. And he wanted to create a life, a living being that he considered his son. Nothing else, nothing less. Now we stand here in front of... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And the rest of the Otogakure was destroyed into nothingness, leaving a huge crater there by a single attack from Naruto, as a huge meteor twice the size of Madara came down on it and destroyed it with a blast, almost putting a dent on Earth, as you like to say it, and hence came his name, the Black Flash, the bringer of death. And so Kumo and Iwatch started to avoid Konoha as much as they could, as going as far to not even sending their bandits there. Everyone of the villain society avoided Konoha like a pledge now. And hence we came to the future where Naruto was standing in front of Obito. Have you come to finish me off, Black Flash? Somewhat, Toby, or should I say Obito Uchiha, as Toby removed his mask, laid it on the table and turned around. How did you know it was me? Well, believe me when I say this, I'm an immortal who has been through and watching you for all eternity of his life. And from what I can say, you have been tricked by Madara. What do you mean? You have been tricked at seeing how she died that day at the hands of your comrade. As Obito's eyes were then narrowed, he killed her. It was because of him he died. He promised that he will protect her. He was my everything after I lost my family. I had to put up that fake it, a fake it of a nice, honest, pretty kid all my life just so that I could be with her. Do you think she would like this, of what you have turned into? I don't know. But believe me, after fulfilling this plan, she will come back to life. And even if I don't exist there, she will have a happy life. And that's all I want. Then came a voice from the shadows as a figure came into view. Obito, is that you? Is that really you? As Obito's eyes widened after hearing this voice, as a grown-up brain came in front of him. No, it has to be illusion. His shining gun spinning in his eyes as he yelled Kai over and over again as he started to cry. Tears started to well up in his eyes and he cried hard enough as he fell to his knees. Why are you here? I saw you die that day. As Rin rushed towards him and hugged him. Shh, it's fine, Obito. I'm here. I seen you have been through hell, but what you are doing is nothing more than that what happened to you. You have been tricked by Madara, as he was by Zetsu. He wanted to free his mother, and there was no saving this world. It could have been destroyed. Naruto here brought me back, and I am thankful to him. And now I can say this to you, Obito, finally. After you were gone, I realized my feelings for you. I love you, Obito. Could you give me another chance, so that we can start off our family on our own, as a family, as lovers? Rin said, as Obito looked towards at her with wide eyes. Really? Would you give me another chance? Yes, Obito, I will. I promise. And it's a promise of a lifetime, she said, with Obito-like smile, and grin and a thumbs up. Subto's eyes widened as he smiled and hugged her, but Rin broke the hug and kissed him as his eyes widened even more as he blushed. Rin-chan, oi, get a room you two. As Naruto started to chuckle, as both of them blushed, as Obito got up and wiped his knees off, as he then moved a hand forward for Rin to get up. Rin-chan, moment please, as Obito came in front of Naruto and said, thank you, Naruto, he said with a smile. Thank you for opening my eyes and reuniting with me with my love. I will forever be in your debt. You don't have to be. Just don't go on and destroy the world again, okay? I promise. Now, what are you going to do, Obito? You can't return to Konoha because of your being dead and because of you attacking Konoha again. They will execute you, as Rin became terrified for her newly loved one's fate. As Obito sighed, what do you suggest? I suggest you move to a faraway country with Rin, where both of you can stay. Here, three-pronged kunai. Just channel your chakra and I can bring Kakashi or my parents there, so you can talk to them. Thank you, Naruto, said Rin and Obito to him as both of them then left, leaving to a faraway place to live off their life, far away from everyone's eyes, to a corner of the elemental nations, as Naruto sighed to himself and smiled. Well, he looked towards the sky and said, I did it. I saved everyone. As then he heard a voice. Well, you saved everyone, except for me, Naruto-kun. Eh? Who is this? How could you forget? It's me, Kaguya. Oh god, no. And, what can I do for you, Kaguya? Well, you have gained my interest, and I have developed it into feelings for you, so... Mind having another mate? Sure, why not, Naruto said, as he freed Kaguya and she came to Earth as a whole in front of him, in all her benevolence and beauty. But you're too old for me, eh? But that's not a trouble, as Naruto then called for his hourglass and turned her back into 17 years of age, before she came to planet Earth, just like that. And then Naruto said, now you can be my mate, and we'll be together forever for all eternity. And as he promised he did, it has been 1,000 years since that time of peace, as peace regained all of our elemental nations, as elemental nations slowly developed into elemental cities, and a new Japan was developed there, as everyone was living peacefully there, and even started to mingle. They forgot about their past, the shinobi history. There were still shinobis around, but they were known as only military personnel and police officers, and the ones that were firefighters and agents. That's all, but the rest of them were civilians who were now living in a modern day Japan. Elemental cities were still there, and they were connected by roots. And Naruto and his family still lived in a huge house, and all of them worked even. Minato was a school teacher, as Kushina was gym instructor there. His wives were also working different jobs. Naruto started his own company, the Uzumaki Corps, who were known as top-notch company in medical supplies there. Heck, even Tsunade and Jiraiya were alive at that time as well, because they were immortals as well. Their children scattered all around the globe, living peacefully. As Naruto was sitting in his office, as his wife came into view, which was none other than Kaguya, bowed and said, the Shikaku Nara is here to see you from the Shika Corps. I see. Nara changed to their name as Shika Corps because Shika was the name of their daughter of Shikaku, great grandson of Shikamaru. Yeah, a long relation there. Yeah, send them in, honey. Right away, said Kaguya, as Naruto was reminiscing his life. Well, I guess everything turned out for the better in this realm, and I can live here peacefully for all I want with my loved ones forever. As this is where I'm going to be leaving out this story, guys. I know it's kind of fucked up, but I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out. Peace.